What's up, guys? It's been a minute since the last update. I'm sure this is all gonna be one video, so it might sound a little weird that there's another intro in here. But we motor's back in the car. You guys saw that. Just kind of doing some finishing work. We got a little bit more work done. I've been stressed for time out here. We got 2 sick kids inside, so it's been a little tough to get out here and spend some time on it. Today is the 16th, I believe. It's Tuesday. I think that's right. We leave next Saturday, so time is really getting down. I don't think there's gonna be a testing beforehand. We kind of plan on going to Texas to test, but there is no time to get down there, and it looks like it's gonna be pretty cold down there, so there's not gonna be any testing going on. Our best case scenario is we could go down a day early down to Florida and do some testing. We'll just kind of see how it plays out. So I'm gonna spin around here, show you guys a little bit of updates, what we've been working on, and a few more updates. All right, so I should have filmed a little more of this, but like I said, super pressed for time. You guys saw new BTR GT5598. This is basically what we had in the car before. This is way better though. So our issue with this car has been oil overheating. So the radiator up front, it's not huge. It could definitely be bigger, but it does well for what it is. So the problem we found a couple Dragon drives ago was it wasn't the water that was overheating, it was the oil. Oil temps would climb, water would try to catch it, and then they would just kind of fluctuate, but they would never catch each other. So they would, one would shoot up, the other one would shoot up, and then they would kind of stick there. If one dropped, one wouldn't drop. So it was just this weird situation. So we actually found that it was the oil, and we put an oil cooler on it, plumb that up, so when we drive we have quick disconnects that we hook up that. So now this BTR GT55 is a ball bearing turbo. So if you look, I don't know, you really can't see down in there. If you look down in there, there's a tiny orifice, way better than the Dash 4 that we were feeding this. So not only do we get more oil to the motor, we get less oil to the turbo, which in turn heats up less. So, and hopefully having an aluminum center section will help also. So we got that in. Not really a lot of changes. It actually bolts up to the large Maven mount. It's close, the O-ring is close, but it works perfectly. So neat that we could go back and forth. That turbo, because I believe it's based on a GTX 55, uses the medium Maven mount, so the bolt holes are a little closer together. So other than that, intake is on. I am currently plumbing fuel lines. I have my little pile over there. I just test fit the hood, make sure this was all going to work, but this intake's a lot lower. So you guys saw the GPI heads, BTR intake, the backstory on the intake. Shout out to BTR again, bending over backwards for us. So got the new charge pipe done. We had to remake the entire thing because it was not working. Actually had to notch a little bit of the radiator here because this is further forward. It's either further forward or this is physically bigger, this section here. So the old turbo, which is sitting over there, I believe it's set back a little bit. So had to redo that. Super tight fit, but it actually looks pretty good, even notched into the radiator. So currently redoing fuel lines. I'm just going to run this off this side off of this, run this looped under here. This is going to go under the intake and Y in the back. So not a lot of updates, but it's taken us a minute to get all of this done. So yeah, that's real. I mean, the back of the car we have not touched. It's been firewall forward for the past week. So just getting everything buttoned up. Even though these aren't a lot of changes, just takes a minute. We went to a motion. We got some new motion goodies under there. Coolant crossover. We used to have the low profile one that would fit the Holley low rams. Don't need that pain in the ass anymore. We can go to this normal system here from motion. The other one wasn't terrible. It was just hard to get to because it was so tight under there. It was just, everything was not just didn't work. The fitment was great. It didn't work great. It was always a pain to get the intake on and off because the lines actually ran up between the injector and the intake. So it was just a pain. If you were leaving it on the car, it'd be perfect. But the amount of times this motor's apart and intakes off of it, just not fun. So yeah, I'm gonna keep rocking on doing some fuel lines and hopefully knock out these and get the car running this weekend. That's kind of the goal. I need to order one more fitting. Still need to get the burst panel studs. They're drilled for a metric stud. If Reed's watching this, just know that sucks. Cause I got the burst panel and everything, but I thought that's a little bit of an inside joke. So burst panel is done. So working on everything else. Everything else is pretty much done. Rest of the car's done. It's just this and getting it running. So I'm gonna get back to it. All right, fuel lines are done. So everything is just kind of mocked up. Here, you guys can kind of see the BMRS, what the inside convoluted material is made of. It's pretty thick, and then it's got this outside shield on it. But yeah, I whipped this up real quick because I can't find anything like this that I wanted. I needed it short with a -8 on it for the rear fuel cell. So I took, don't mind the mess over here, I took this, cut it right here, and welded two -20 or -12 bungs onto it with a -8 to make that all work. Just running this off the end of one of the rails, so less fittings. So comes, I'll kind of do a routing for you. Comes out of the bottom of the tank, goes over to the other side of the pump, comes back through into this, comes through the pump, then comes back this way, down into the filter, down there, comes up through my Y fitting, then both of these go, the other one's laying on the floor because I wasn't about to fish it under the intake one more time. So these go to the back of the rails, so the Y here, back of the rails, comes up, this one crosses over into this side, this one just deadheads, this goes back to here, and then back to here. These ball valves, you serve absolutely no purpose other than shutting off fuel flow. So when we swap the car over from pump gas to methanol, I'll have the car idling and I'll just shut this valve here, and it drains off the injectors pretty well, so we don't start up the pump gas tune with methanol in it. It does not like that, and runs like ass for about 30 seconds. So the more I can let it run out naturally, the better. So yeah, we're still gonna have to swap these around, which we usually connect this one to this one, which sucks because these ball valves should work as intended, but they don't, they leak. So when you should just be able to turn these and then stop the flow altogether, but instead they leak, so they push back into this tank and create all kinds of chaos that we've dealt with. So yeah, fuel lines are done on this side, just have to get them crimped at work, and then I just have this -8 fitting to do, and we're gonna have the little ball valve here instead of back behind the intake, because I'm not doing that again. And yeah, then we'll just be able to run a fuel line probably somewhere along the frame rail and just come up and tap into that. And then so when we do the swap over, we'll just unscrew this, put these together, and then it'll feed here, but it can't backflow, so it's only going to feed the rails, and it's a returnless pump back there, so it will go through this, but it can't. It'll deadhead here, and I'll read fuel pressure, but it won't feed back to the tank. So that's about all I got for tonight. It's a little late, so I'm gonna get these crimped tomorrow, come back here, do those, and yeah, keep on rocking. Close. Four doesn't want to fire. Hey, no leaks though. No leaks. That's a rare occasion for me. Hot. So 4 is still not, it's firing, but I don't know if it's happy or not. It still sounds off. Not on every hole. see if there's anything valve train related. I'm gonna close the door again because I'm frozen. It looks like 4 and 8. They're not completely dead, but they're not happy either. All right, don't mind my smooth brain there. Yeah, those were backwards. I'm gonna open the garage door though, because I died last time. Got started between the 8 degrees outside and freezing to death. So cylinder 4 is still dead. Swapping injectors solved one problem, but we still have 4. I think last time this happened, I just changed the spark plug and magically started working again. So I think I'm gonna try that. It's really cold out though. So you guys saw it ran. Had a little issues last night, and I'll kind of go into that right now because I was kind of talking and didn't really make sense. I was just rambling pretty much, but so started it last night. It sounded off. Like I said, we've ran this motor a lot, so I kind of, and the cam has been in it for 6 months now, so I kind of know what it sounds like pretty good. And it just sounded off. So we had those EGTs that were low. I don't know if I said that on camera or not. It was like 2, 4, and there was one on the driver's side that was low, and not firing low. It was low as in it just wasn't completing the combustion. If there's a out, like say I forget to plug in a spark plug wire, it'll be like 100 degrees, 150 degrees, like barely anything. Well, these would get some temp in them. If I give a little gas, I'm sure it's sharing some heat, but you gotta remember where the senses are. Those are, an 1.5 inches from the actual event. So, did a compression test last night. 4 had no compression, and you can hear it, like starting it, you can tell it doesn't have, and it also popped out the exhaust. Not a bad pop, but it was sending fuel down in the exhaust instead of where it needed to be. So made a post last night looking for 25,000 shorter exhaust push rods, because we thought that the exhaust valve was getting hung open by too long of a push rod. So it's got 8-inch on the intakes now and 7.975 on the exhausts now. And as you saw, ran fine. So got some heat into it. I'm probably gonna do a spool test. It's really cold outside right now, or I would go drive it. It's like 15 degrees, and there's no reason to. I mean, I could take the car out. It's just no reason to drive it, and the roads are they're still wet and salt covered, and really don't want to ruin the car. So it sounded fine, like revving it up. It's pretty close to what the old motor is. I mean, the cam's the same, heads and intake are different, turbo's different, but 380's the same head gasket, same camshaft, same all that. So I'm going to get packing here. I'm gonna go chill out for a minute. I've been thrashing a little bit, so I cleaned off my nightmare of a table over there, and then probably come out here later and just start packing, get the trailer all set up and ready to go. I'm gonna mess with the car a little bit more tomorrow, let my brain refresh from that thrash. But yeah, I'm going to, this will probably be the end of this video, and then I'll probably make a little bit separate one of like packing and whatnot. Kind of show you guys, I've gotten a little bit more organized in the few Dragon drives, so I'm gonna show you what we have and what we have got to take each time. It's probably not a great list, but it's done us pretty well. So yeah, that's it for this one. Got a running car, and it's almost time for sick week.